You want to make money trading futures and you're wondering, what is a realistic income? Well, I'm going to touch on a few different points before we could even answer that. And everyone's is going to be different, but I want to give you my layout of it and how we can maybe maximize that realistic income. So take a look here first. I'm only up about 23,000 on the year. Not quite where I want to be, a little bit lower. I'd like to probably double that just in terms of we're almost 4 months into the year. That's well less than 10,000 a month. But a few things to go over is the market conditions are always going to be changing. Your success is always going to ebb and flow. Your strategy is going to struggle sometimes. It's going to thrive sometimes. Some months you'll be trading conservative. Sometimes you'll be feeling more aggressive. Sometimes your strategy is going to be losing more than you're used to. And sometimes it's going to be winning more than you're used to, right? The list goes on and on. So first things first, it's tough to even gauge what is a realistic income because it's always going to be changing. It's not as simple as I'm going to make 10,000 a month, 120,000 in a year. You're going to have flat months. You're going to have a red month. You're going to have a giant month where you crushed it and you made 20,000, let's say, and that'll probably make up for your slower months. But realistically, I think the first thing is you have to ask yourself, how much are you willing to put into prop firms? If that's the route you're trading, which many of you are, a lot of you are trading with top one futures where if you need an account, you could always use code Evan for 50% off. But if you're looking into the prop firm space, the question really is, how much are you willing to put into them to try to pull out more money out of them, right? Myself included in this short term, I haven't invested as much into these challenges or into these trades as sim funded accounts as many other people, right? There's the good old debate of I'd rather spend 5,000 on these accounts to try to pull out 20,000 than only invest 1,000 and I took out 5,000, right? Yeah, the math is math. That's definitely for sure. So if you want realistic expectations, it really comes down to, well, if you're looking to spend 2,000 a month on these challenges or prop firm accounts to try to go pull out 10,000 in payouts, that could definitely be realistic. But if you want to maybe spend $500, one account, I'm going to turn this into a $10,000 payout every single month, that may be a little bit tougher. You got to be willing to lose accounts, and try to scale them at a quicker pace. That if you're just willing to spend, let's just say, for easy math, $2,000 a month, right? For 50K accounts or 150K accounts, that's probably like 5 or 6 attempts at trying to get a payout on a certain account. Now, if 1 or 2 of those hit, let's say even 3 of them hit, and you take out a $3,000 payout out of each of those 3, you're almost there at 10,000. So there's 9,000 in that month. So that's really one part of the equation of a realistic income. It's always going to ebb and flow. But if you're in the more aggressive side, some people spend 10,000 on challenges, and people have their mind blown of, oh my God, that's so much. Like they're spending so much on these, but they're pulling out 20,000. So they're still pulling out profit, 10,000 on their $10,000 investment, right? $20,000 total. So I think it comes down to that. The second part is going to be, you obviously need a strategy before you can even pull an income or even pull a profit, let alone turn this business into an income for yourself. You need to have a strategic strategy of what setups are you going to take that you're looking to repeat so you have any chance of finding any consistency to take payouts month over month or even week over week, depending on how many firms you're with. That real quick, it's not exactly what the video is about, but I do want to give you just a taste of what my strategy is so you can understand a little bit better of how I'm able to take these payouts. If you look at the setups here, I'm looking at the 1 minute, the 15-minute opening range are these black horizontal lines. My best plays come outside of this level or on its way outside of these zones. That I'm not chasing this first break outside the bottom of the opening range low because they often don't sustain. So you could chase that. You'll just find not a lot of follow through more times than not. I let it pull back. See if buyers want to take control and rip us back higher. But then once sellers do defend that New York view up here in black, anchored from that 9:30 New York open, okay, sellers defended it. They are in fact staying in like I thought they were. Now, let me get back in before they continue the trend back lower. So then I sell it the second time back outside the open range low, a break of the lower day view up, which is here in purple, and it goes and continues the trend. If you could do that consistently on 3 accounts or even 2 accounts, just to double your money, right? You could definitely scale payouts at a quicker rate. That brings me to point number 2. To take payouts consistently, I've made other videos about it, but to get a gauge on a realistic income or any payout number you want to put on it, I think the larger payouts you're going to get are going to come from trading multiple accounts. If you can go back to the TradeZella here, the 5.58 thousand I'm up here in April, it's really only on 1 account. I mean, we'll say it's on 2, but it's not 2 traded at the same time, which is very different, right? So I'm really probably only up 2,500 on each, but I'm up $5,000 total. But if I was up $5,000 on each account and I traded both of them or even 3 of them, you could very quickly then get 15,000 in profit with still a week and a half left in the month. So let's say I do have 3 accounts all copied together and I trade the exact same that I have been, I'd be up 15,000. And of that 15,000, is 10,000 of that a payout across the 3 accounts? Or maybe even a larger payout, who knows? But I think to get realistic expectations, if you're on one account and you're not investing very much into these prop firm accounts, probably not going to make a very high income, or even whatever your definition of a high income is. But if you could trade multiple accounts and be willing to lose and willing to invest in yourself. I remember in the beginning, I looked at these prop accounts as, I don't want to spend like $500 because you're almost thinking, well, it's gone. I lost that money, which is true. You should think of it as you're never going to get that money back. But it's really an investment. That it's an investment of, I'm going to put $2,000 in, but I'm going to take $10,000 in payouts. So yes, I'm giving $2,000 now, but I'm really going to profit $8,000 from this payment right now. But too many of you, which may, to be fair, if you've never taken a payout, look at these prop accounts payments as I lost $2,000. It cost me $2,000. I don't want to spend $2,000. I want $2,000. But you need to spend the $2,000 in order to make $10,000. So it's not you're spending money, you're investing your money to get a bigger sum back later, maybe a month later, even 2 months later, right? So I had to get out of that mindset as well as, $500 for a $150K account, that's steep. You're going to get it back, ideally, hopefully, right? At least 1 or 2 of them, right? If you're spending $500 4 times to try to 4 attempts at this payout, you're in the hole for $2,000. But if you get 1 payout on one of the accounts for $5,000, you're up $3,000 from that transaction. So you made money on it. It was worth the $2,000 investment. Now imagine if you did that $2,000 investment, but you invested $4,000 or $6,000. Yes, it's steep, and yes, not everybody has $6,000 to just throw at the wall every month for it. But if it's a returning investment of $12,000 or $18,000 on top of the 6 you put in, you're netting $12,000 or whatever the case may be. So I think you need to be willing to put money into these accounts, roll them over, speed them up strategically, right? Don't gamble them to a payout. And then if you could do that to multiple accounts, that speeds it up even more. But even if you just do one account, right, just try to roll through it quickly, but invest more and more, right? I'm not advocating everyone just spends a bunch of money on these prop accounts. I'm just giving my 2 cents of look at it as an investment. If you could take payouts from it and end green at the end of it, it was worth it. And if you could do that to multiple accounts, you could definitely consider making $10,000 a month, no problem, right? Obviously, trading is tough, but the math is simple to make the $10,000. Invest more into the prop accounts, trade them well, trade them consistently for a long period of time, even if that's long period is a month, and you take 3 payouts. You really take 1 payout, put to 3 accounts. You can make $3,000 payout in a month, right? Especially on these bigger accounts. So I think you definitely need a strategy. Be willing to invest into these accounts. Be willing to lose and have that long-term approach, right? You're going to have months, like I said, that you make 0 payouts, absolutely none, or you get $1,000, and you may be still in the hole from that investment from last month, but just month over month, quarter over quarter, look at the long game. You just want to end the year green. I don't spend this much, but let's just pretend I spent $50,000 on these accounts all year long. I don't know, making that number up. But if it led me to taking $100,000 in payouts, well, I made $50,000. Okay, so it was worth it. Yes, I spent $50,000. That was steep, but it led me to taking another $50,000 in profit. Where if I didn't spend all that money on those accounts, I wouldn't have made that $50,000, right? Trying to take a $50,000 payout on one investment of a $500 account, pretty tough. But if the more and more you do it, you could definitely try to scale it a little bit larger. Now, that's an exaggerated number. I do not spend anywhere near $50,000 a year on prop accounts, but you get the gist of it. Second thing would be if you're struggling to take payouts and you're trying to even find consistency before you even turn this into an income, always feel free to check me out on the live streams every morning at the New York Open. You can also learn the strategy that I just showed you real quick there in a markup here in Futures 2.0. So if you're not a member, use code Evan. You'll get 50% off your first month as well as the strategy and the live stream. So definitely tune into that. But I think everyone's answer is going to be different, right? It's kind of a silly question of what's a realistic income. Well, I don't know you. I don't know your trading style. I don't know how much you're willing to put into these prop accounts. I don't know what your average trade size is, right? That comes down to a lot of it as well. If you're risking $100 per trade, then I don't really even know how much I could tell you you'll realistically can make in a month, right? Because I don't know, again, how much you trade. Maybe you're risking $100 per trade, but you take 20 trades a day. I don't know. But for myself, a realistic income is you could definitely make $10,000 a month if you're trading multiple accounts at the top of your game, willing to invest more into these accounts, right? I don't really hold on to prop accounts for very, very long in terms of I think the longest one I had was 6 months. But I got payouts from it before I lost it. Now, of course, I've lost some before I even got a payout. But again, you combine them all, how much I put in, how much I got out of it, I'm green. So that's all that really matters. And you are pulling a profit from it. But in the most recent times, in this month of April that we're looking at here, I'm not on the copier. So my realistic expectations are I'm probably not going to make as much as I'd like to or want to or have, because I'm only trading on one account per day with a little bit smaller of a size because the volatility, the unknownness, and the confusion I'm even finding within the market. So it's really knowing yourself. How much are you willing to put in? Is the trading hot? Is your trading cold? Every month's going to ebb and flow. So I don't even put on an expectation. That's one thing I should say to end off this video. Remove the expectation of what you expect to make in a week, in a day, in a quarter, and even in a year. Just throw it out. It's going to do no good. If you beat those expectations, great. If you fall short of those expectations, well, did you still make 60 grand this year? That's great, right? Don't put that expectation on yourself, because then you're going to feel like you're behind. I'm expecting to make 10,000 because of all this math I did in my head, but I'm only profiting 6. Shit. Who cares? You're up 6 grand. Keep going. There's no saying that in 3 months from now you can't be at that 10,000, and then a year from now that consistency can't be 16,000, 60,000. Who knows, right? So just keep on going day by day. Zoom it out. Always feel free to reach out if you have any questions on trading, on risk management, the strategy, all that good stuff. Always feel free to reach out. Check out Top 1 Futures as they're running a 50% off sale right now, so it's kind of the best time to invest into these accounts. Put them on a copier, but trade safe. Let me know if you need me. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.